what I really think is it's integrating the whole person, the whole system, and and how we are together. Like law can be about relationships, but that's not how we're trained. We're not trained to be the healers of relationships, which is years ago I heard this. I don't know what the original source is, but that ministers heal the soul, doctors heal the body, and lawyers heal relationships. And so we're not trained that way.
So to be an integrative lawyer, it's a process, a never-ending process. You are always learning, you are always reviewing, you are always visiting new ideas, and you are trying to understand more and more the complexity of the world.
It could be about integrating different techniques into one, or views into one in your job as a lawyer, like mindfulness and a holistic view into your law practice. But for me, it's about integrating myself as a person, as a human being in my work as a lawyer, and it's also integrating my worldview in my work. For example, like about how we're all interconnected. This is also a view that we integrate in our work.
Being an integrative lawyer is simply saying that I deeply value my and your humanity.
So I love this idea of connecting with other legal practitioners who were looking for a more human and authentic and restorative, healing way to practice law.
Wherever we find ourselves at that interface with this thing called law, it is about exploring the multidimensional reality of our humanity in these systems. In other words, there's, I think for me, it's just opening the door on the original medicine that each one of us brings into the law. What is it that we might do to deepen that sense that, this is about a holistic process through which we might heal ourselves, heal the separations between and amongst our communities and of each other, and between human beings and the planet.
Seeing myself and the world in context and bringing that awareness. Because to me, the thing I love about law is it's an organizing principle. Really, that's how I see it. It helps us get together as a group and determine how we're going to relate to one another, and gives us some way of organizing the chaos that is us. So to me, the integrative part, as I said, is bringing as much context to wholeness and fulfillment, and actually having our society reflect that, not in a way that's detached from reality, but in a way that's actually really grounded and embodied.
So important to show the movement. It's important talking about that and show the world and the legal community that the other skill that we put in our abilities really help people, help us and help people.
Along the way, when I studied my law degree while in prison, it made me look at the legal profession from a different perspective, a perspective of being a servant.
It's those people who have made the shift to serving others, the shift to using our lives, to devoting our lives to that way of being. Yeah. And that's the common thread that I see in people who call themselves integrative lawyers.
Being in service both to myself and the planet, and humanity in particular, but the planet generally as well.
We need to be humble and don't take yourself too seriously, because like in this lawyer world, and we also both started before we changed to the criminal to this criminal law firms. We worked both at big corporate firms, and then like everything is possible, and it's all about luxury and materials.
And we should try and really work to make the law and its administration a much more therapeutic place, looking on well-being for us And we will be happier if we're doing work like that rather than in some revolving door system that has people coming back and forth and back and forth. We will be happier and our clients will be happier.
To integrate my most essential personal characteristics into my profession.
I think to be an integrative lawyer is to be a lawyer that is able to bring a variety of approaches to their legal profession, their legal activity, so they can include and transcend.
To be completely open to everyone, to anything, to commit to what you're doing completely, to abide to I don't say to, it's not meant to be rules.
And we do have common values. That's definitely true of the movement. How they manifest is, very different in the different things that people do. But I think there is a core connection between everyone. And as so far, I've not met an integrative lawyer who I don't have some kind of core connection with on some level. Even if they're very, very different personalities to me and very different kind of lawyer, we find a connection.
Being, in my opinion, an integrative lawyer for me means being able to unite the integrality, what I am and what I can become, because we are changing all the times as an individual, with my legal practice. It means being authentic, innovative, creative, and open.
You'll have, first of all, to keep your legal skills away and wear the human cloth. So we are a holistic, integrated community that fights for justice.
And always strive to go beyond and work on yourself. Let's say to combine your professional life, your spiritual life, and your private life.
The journey of trying to align my work with my values is what set me on the path of being more integrated in the way that I practice. And how to bring my own personal values of kindness and love and respect, collaboration, generosity, and humor, those are some of them, into my work.
The notion of integrative is fundamentally about healing separations. And that, I think, is the deep call of this, not just this subfield or orientation toward practicing law, but of this moment. We're at a time where I feel we're called really to look at how our systems, including this powerful system of law, how these systems that we've inherited and that we participate in are perpetuating separations that are not to the ultimate good of us as human beings and of the planet. And so how can we bring this sort of integrative, repair, restorative dimension right into our particular role in this system?
The main way that I work in an integrative way is by trying to be authentic and trying to do something within the legal system and within legal practice that is valuable and useful for the users of the legal system.
To see that a conflict can be a way to learn new skills.
And, when we hear lawyers, when we hear the word lawyer or an advocate, people generally relate them to people who are going to have something to do with fighting, or, they're going to have something to do with assertiveness and all, which is good. It's basically mostly the legal profession is related to something that is that separates people or divides people. So I think integrative law, according to me, is a way of lawyering which is not separating people, rather it's actually bringing them together. It's integrating them into a whole. So it's, like the word says, so it's mostly a holistic approach to law where we don't just talk about what's right and wrong legally, but there's, other aspects that you talk about. There's the healing aspect, there's the spiritual aspect.
Nowhere in law school did they ever teach me how human dynamics work and how to resolve a conflict. No, they taught me rules for how to make a case and how to go to a third person. Even when I took mediation courses, they really were about the process and not the people. And so integrative law, I think, is about the people and a holistic view of who we are in a system.
We are in a profession whose main business is the business of human relationships. Then surely we ought to want to be people who heal relationships. It feels like somebody hijacked the legal profession and it became a profession of adversarial, winner, loser, rewarder, punisher, and completely lost the thread of understanding that as legal practitioners, we should be in the business of healing relationships.
To explain and try to involve people in a new culture about conflict.
So the clients we're not at a meeting. The clients are down in their shit. Conflict. You don't get down there. So on the inside, you're holding this higher space, which is we call it the paradigm shift. So if you're not into it, you can be on as best as possible on the love side of the duality.
Yes.
But you try to get the team to hold that. And that in itself dissolves conflict.
For me, it means looking at the law holistically, realizing that the law is a tool for good, and being able to use the law to not only solve people's problems, but also to heal them.
So it's like, again, about our essence of being human and what it's about being loved.
Integrative law is about giving those people hope who may be thinking that they are alone, hence they may never accomplish. But don't do it because someone tells you you can't and then you think, okay, they may be right. Don't listen to the no. Try to find the yeses.
That lawyers should really be practicing in this broad method.